Hey, I wasn't planning to record this today, but after living with the MagniFi Max AX SR for weeks as the core of my home setup, I finally have to tell you what this actually feels like when you use it every single day. This isn't for someone who settles for weak dialogue, shallow bass, or effects that feel stuck in front of you. This is for the kind of person who senses when the soundstage feels flat, when footsteps don't place in space, when music lacks depth. Someone who knows real immersive audio should pull you into every moment instead of just accompanying the picture. Before you go any deeper, take a moment to check the current price and availability. Systems this complete don't sit steady in stock or price for long, and hesitation is exactly how the right moment slips away. You know that moment, maybe during a big movie scene where the explosion felt hollow, or a game where directional cues didn't inform your reactions, or even a playlist that lacked body, and you thought, this should feel bigger? That's when you realize you'd left compromise behind. Your old setup wasn't bad, it just wasn't alive. Once you feel the difference, you don't want to go back. Putting the MagniFi Max AX SR in place didn't just add channels, it opened up the room with intention. Dialogue suddenly felt anchored and clear. Ambient cues didn't just appear, they wrapped around me. Explosions and effects didn't just hit, they inhabited space above and around. Music gained body and texture instead of hollow thinness. The wireless sub didn't just add low end, it added impact without drowning the rest of the mix. And those SR2 surrounds? They didn't just sit behind me, they placed sound around me instead of in front of it. I've lived with this in real moments, late-night film marathons where subtle audio cues finally mattered, weekend gaming where positional depth actually helped instead of confusing, playlists that sounded richer and fuller instead of muddy, and everyday TV where voices came through crisp without chasing the remote. This system doesn't just make sound louder, it sculpts it so every moment feels intentional and connected to what you're watching. When you're right there in the experience, you don't care about watts or channel counts. You care about how it makes you feel in the room. Don't stall thinking I'll wait for a better deal or maybe later. That hesitation is exactly how future regret happens, where months later you look back and think, I could have been enjoying this experience all along. If you're wondering whether Dolby Atmos, DTS, and real surrounds actually matter, let me reframe that. Once you feel sound that exists around you instead of just blasting forward, anything weaker feels like you're listening through a veil. This doesn't just output audio, it places it with clarity, direction, and presence you thought only theaters could deliver. Here's something most people don't expect, it doesn't just make things louder, it makes them meaningful. You start catching layers you never noticed before. A breath before a score's rise, ambience that breathes under effects, depth in dialogue that suddenly feels anchored in space. Explosions hit with weight not blur, music feels textured not thin, dialogue feels anchored not distant, positional cues feel intentional not vague, your whole room finally feels part of the moment. Yeah, it takes space to open up fully, and once you hear a genuine surround depth, anything flatter feels hollow. Eventually you stop cycling through endless options and pick the one that already feels right. The one your mind keeps returning to when you think, that's the sound I want every time. So check the current price and availability now. If you've been waiting for the sign that your TV experience deserves real presence, immersive clarity, and audio that actually matches what you're watching and feeling, this is it.